Hi there. So this is going to be our third part of me talking to you about my 10 business tips to go from artist to entrepreneur. As you can see, compared to the video number 2, I am quite more tanned than I was last time. I mean, if you can see it, maybe you're just listening. So in that case, it doesn't make any sense. But this is going to be our episode number 3. And today I'm just going to get started with, bear with me, with letting people know that you aren't just here for the fun, but for business. And there are 2 reasons why you really need to make clear to your audience on social media or wherever you are promoting your artwork that you are here for business and not to sell your artworks. The first reason is that as an artist, a big part of your audience might be made of other artists. Some of them, if you are not clear with them, will be here to only take a look at your artworks. And it is great to have a community of supportive artists, or I wouldn't be running a membership of supportive artists. It's called the Artist Entrepreneur Club. However, when it comes to your audience on social media, you might be able to sell to artists too, if you let them know that they are here considered as potential clients too. When you have a new follower on social media, even if it is an artist, you want to send them a private message, for instance, welcoming them and explaining that what you are doing here on social media. This way, they will be clear that from now on, they are considered as a potential buyer too. It is important to target your potential buyers online in addition to your community of artists, but you will always have artists in your community and it's great, but consider them as potential buyers too. The second reason why you want to be really clear about the fact that you are here to sell and run a business is that if you don't say that you are, people will not get it. They won't know it. It's really tempting for artists to think that because they are creating artworks, people will guess that you are selling them, but it won't come to their brain. So there are tons of artists who create artworks, post it online and don't want to sell the artworks. Not only people won't get it, but until you ask them to buy, they won't buy either. So make sure that you tell people that the artworks are available and share the way they can buy them. That's it. You need to do that also regularly, and not just once a month. My next point that I'm going to highlight is to understand how people find you so you can scale your visibility. A good way to master your mindset, actually, and to make sure that you are motivated is to understand the steps that clearly and logically lead you to sell your artworks online. Because there is no magical secret about selling your artworks online. It's all about basic logic. You don't need like a master to be in business, to be actually selling, but you need to pay attention to what's actually happening, to facts. So this means understanding your strategy. As an artist, understanding why people find you is something you should really focus on. You should understand where your audience finds you and where they come from, where they have heard about you, so you can make it happen more and quicker in the future. If you don't know where they are finding you, then you might want to shout about your business everywhere. But if you know that they mainly found you on Instagram, then you know that you can focus more on Instagram and take action more there and spend the time you have left in your studio rather than other social media platforms. Understanding as well how people find you will also give you the motivation to keep going. If you don't understand how people find you, you'll keep thinking that the sales that happen to you happen by magic, by chance. That is never true. They happen because you are being visible. So understand where you are being visible to keep going in the future. Point number 9 I mean, between the 3 videos that you have been watching on that blog, is to review what is happening. Something that has really helped me become more efficient and more professional is to realize that I am not what I am not managing to achieve, what is not a success, what I am failing at, actually. And also to start looking at it in a positive way, that failure is part of the game. It's part of it, and without failure, I'm not going to have the success. There is not one or the other. There is no 100% success. There is 50% success, 50% failure. So you need to accept that failure in your life. And it's not about business, is it? So it's not only about business when it comes to accepting failure, it's about everything. Just like when you start practicing a sport and you want to become better at it, you're going to have fails. That's okay, isn't it? So it's the same with selling artworks. So when you're aware of this, you really have to think about how what seems like a failure is related to what you are managing, for instance, and how you're planning your time and how you're taking action. So then you actually want to have a look at the way you have taken action in the past and how it's related to what you are not managing to achieve and how you can change what you have achieved in the past. What is the new thing you are going to test, actually? So you try to find a solution to what you are not managing to achieve. So your failure here is actually super helpful because you want to have a look at what is the reason why you are getting this failure and what can be a solution that corresponds to what you're trying to achieve here. What is your obstacle? What is preventing you from achieving what you want to achieve? And how are you going to find a solution that corresponds? This is important. It has to correspond to what you're trying to achieve in order to get over this obstacle and reach it. For instance, one thing that I was really making me like I was failing was that I wasn't managing to take control over my emails. That's a stupid thing, but it made me feel really bad because I felt like I wasn't delivering in the right way to my clients, and I was quite sad about it. And so I always felt like the emails were having control over me rather than me having control over my emails. So I looked at what was happening and I realized that I was always leaving my emails as the last thing in my to-do list. So I thought, okay, let's try something new. Let's try like switching things around, answering my emails first in the morning, and also deciding that I'm not going to spend my whole day on it. I'm going to limit the time I'm spending on it and see how that works. And that definitely was a solution that corresponded to an obstacle that I found. And using that new method, it definitely brought me to getting control over my emails and having an empty inbox, which is a little bit of an irony because as I'm talking, I'm just back from holidays. And so my mailbox is full, but it doesn't matter because now I have my method and I know I'm going to get my control back over it quite quickly. All right, so number 10, also about number 9, important thing is that when you're finding a solution about something that you're feeling bad about, when you're finding a method that works for you, it's not about getting things perfect forever. It's about understanding that actually using a method that works for you, you have control over things. And so whenever you kind of lose control over things, it doesn't matter because you have your method, and just by starting your method again, applying your method again, you're going to have that control back. Okay, number 10 and last one for this blog. Don't do it alone. That would be the most important thing. There are times though when you might want to implement things, and that's important time, but in most times you're not going to want to be alone selling your artworks. So don't do it alone. My last tip is to not do it alone. That means to not be alone when you run your art business, when you work on increasing your sales. I'll always say that I understand that you might love to be alone in your studio. I love being alone in my own space too. I'm a big introvert. I love having my personal space and being alone. But when it comes to selling, as it is something which might be very new to you, then I would really advise to find yourself a community of peers, or at least a coach, at least one person you're sharing this with. Find people who are going through the same journey as you are, because selling artworks online takes time. It might get lonely on the longer term, so you want to be surrounded by people. Finding this community is also very different from just sharing with your family and friends. Your family might be on a very different path as you are. For example, they might have a full-time job and they might not understand that you want to be entrepreneurial. They might not understand that you want to sell artworks independently. They might also give you advice that fits their path rather than yours, because they have not done the work of working on their mindset. And so they don't understand that your mindset is yours. Instead of friends and family, you want to find people who are not specifically friends and who are on the same journey. They will, of course, become friends with time. This community of like-minded people will also inspire you and will show you that their reality can be yours. Some of them will have a story that is very similar to yours. If some of them can show you that they can be successful artists, it will be a proof that you can too. If you have never seen it happen before for someone who is like you, then it might be very complicated for you to consider it a reality. A community of artists who sell artworks online will also be a place where you can feel like you are an impressive person. It will be a place where you are going to be able to share your wins without feeling like you are bragging. Bragging can be a feeling that you have when you share your wins with people you are not on the same path, who are not on the same path as yours. Like with friends and family. When it comes to people who are sharing the same experience as yours in life, they will understand that it takes work and to be brave. They will cheer you up and lift you to bring you to your next level. They will make you feel like you are a very impressive person. Not only do you impress your family and friends, but you also impress people who do not know you as well and who are getting inspired by your achievements. Having a community will be one of my most important pieces of advice, because it has definitely helped me grow my own business. I wouldn't have done it without a community that makes me feel like I am impressive and achieving big things. So make sure you find yourself in your own community of artists who sell art online and who are on the same journey as you are. And of course, check out the Artist Entrepreneur Club, which is a very supportive community of artists who sell artworks online and who cheer each other up. Have a great day.